So I will call the meeting to order promptly at 7 p.m. Who's coming? I just saw him. BJ, there's minutes there too, if you can flip through those while Tim is getting settled. Everyone else kind of flip through. All right, first order of business is approval of the minutes from February 7th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great. Discussion. BJ, I'll wait on your review and
On
see
page
if anybody else.
3, there's a typo under police capital, the old weapons and ammunition controls.
Smack in the middle.
Yep. I'm sorry. Typo.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle, under
Capital, page 3.
Yes.
Right in the center of police capital instead of weapons.
Oh, yeah.
Weapons.
Thank you.
It happens.
What's a weapon?
Might be cheaper.
Maybe more.
Yeah. Said Dr. Seuss.
You good?
I'm good.
Any other comments or corrections or so? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Dave, we had Mr. Roberts to catch up on last week when he wants it in.
On the email we got about the grant that came through.
Didn't get it.
Oh,
It's on the
last
agenda.
page.
It's the second page of the agenda.
All right, we will start with Park and Rec, if we could. Sure. We'll start with the operating budget.
Okay.
And then Catherine and Matt, did you guys get a chance to walk through things?
Yep.
Is there anything significant that we should zero in on? And if so, we can have the rest of
In the capital.
In capital?
Yep.
Okay.
But the season was going up 30,000, and I know there's detail there.
Right.
Well, the seasonal is going up for a couple reasons. Minimum wage is going up, and the amount of programs and employees we're hiring is going up as well. That's why that's
Is
going
there
up.
going to be income to offset
Yeah.
some of that? Okay.
And the internet's making a big jump, it looks like. Internet at Kings Park?
No, that's
No?
potential install for
Oh, okay.
security
Got it.
cameras. That's,
Okay.
I can't really answer much about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm on the IT committee.
Okay.
That's what that is.
All right.
So,
Yep.
Got it.
I don't
Thank
think it'll
you.
be 3,300, but
I'm just kind of looking at this now, and I see the budget is going up by 33,000, but the actuals compared to budget in prior years have been significantly below budget. So the actuals have never been more than 410,000, which reflects a $120,000 increase. And I'm curious for an explanation of that, the disparity between the budget historically and the actuals, and whether we really need the 530 this year.
So you're talking about both the budgets combined?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All of it.
And your question exactly?
So if you look, John,
Yeah.
for example, column 13 on the second page. So we budgeted $454,000.
Yep.
We only spent $410,000.
Mm-hmm.
Then the year prior, we budgeted $468, and we only spent $406. This past year, the budget increased by $43,000. And the question is, we're going up another $33,000, but we've never really spent more than $410. So the difference between what we've actually spent and this year's budget is $120,000. And so the change, and so we should take a look at the change between actuals in column 14, BJ, and then the budget for 15, because we did have a significant increase in seasonal wage. Well, no, it was,
So we, year-to-date as of 11/15 was 295.
yeah.
And I would assume that the majority of the budget is spent in the summertime, so that subsequent to 11/15, we'd have significantly less expenditures, or not?
40% of the budget left to spend or something, right? Or
Right.
expenditures to be spent.
But BJ's saying, in the height of the summer, say from July to Labor Day, the bulk of the summer wages and programs
Right.
are already spent. So
Yes, so
are we going to use significantly less than what was requested?
Yeah, so in other words, for the current fiscal year, we don't have a year-end actual because we're in the middle of the
Right.
year. But based on the spending to date, it looks to me as if the year-end actual is going to be, again, lower than the budget.
We had COVID in there, too.
That's part of it. Now, in
Yeah,
May,
so we budgeted for a regular summer for those 2 years, that if you're looking backwards. So that's probably part of it. So let's look 3 years back, which would be
Well, we have 19,
1920.
yeah.
But still, we underutilized it by $24,000.
But if you look right now, as of 11/15, in column 16, on the seasonal wages, we've spent $114,000 basically, which is way more than we've ever spent on seasonal wages for the whole year.
Yeah.
So the seasonal wages are,
Which is kind of driving.
which is driving
Yeah,
everything.
a big
driving
part.
the increase.
But
So we're already, that leaves for this current year, $12,000 to be spent between now and June 30th,
But we
which
only,
may not even be enough. I don't know how much between Memorial Day and end of June.
it's weather-driven, too.
Right.
and we only have a half a month of seasonal wages because those programs don't start until June 15th and end June 30th, other than,
Well, no,
You know.
Park and Rec, the day camps, they don't start till after 4th of July.
so.
Oh, they start before that. They start right at the end of
We'll get
school.
that.
Okay, all right. But,
The seasonal wages in May and June are parking lot and probably lifeguards, weather dependent.
Right.
Definitely parking lot.
but I guess my point is, BJ, I understand what you're saying, but in our current budget year, we've spending at a much greater rate.
No, and you raise a good point, but then my question becomes, if you look at the actuals for seasonal wages, right, going from 90 to 53 to 76 to 113 as of 11/15,
Yep.
why have the seasonal wages gone up so much?
That's a good question.
Well, that-
Nicole looks like she's,
Last year, we started an after-camp program, so it goes past 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's like aftercare, which the camp goes in programs for as well as those programs that you
Yeah.
guys do to.
There were 6 new summer programs added last year alone.
So those are
there's offsetting revenue.
revenue from those. So those are not, so this is just showing what they're paying out, but those programs generated more revenue than the
Right.
summer camp
Definitely,
typically had.
Definitely.
I mean, I guess outside of the wages, there are a few things here I'm saying. For example, contracted services at White Sands Beach, there's $6,000 in the budget, and the most that's ever been spent there is $347.
No, there's only $10 requested for next year.
Yeah.
Oh, did I miss?
Yeah.
there's actually going to probably be.
Okay,
Put in there, I don't have it yet, I put Sandy Beach is going to put in two pumps at the end of the road in there.
The pump line item.
Gotcha.
Reimbursement for next year for them. So that's what that 6,000
Yep.
is just for that. Don doesn't have any control over that.
okay.
Wouldn't those pumps be capital though?
They only last a year.
So they're an
They're full of sand
I
now.
know they said.
Operating budget, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and then the other piece, which I guess could be,
Leave that.
yeah,
There was a letter from Alan, the chairman, about the pumps, so are we clear? Have they paid for the pumps, that we don't have to do anything, or are they gonna ask for more money?
They're gonna ask for money for that.
Every year.
But he hasn't, that letter doesn't say that he's requesting anything as of this point, and I don't know if he gave a letter, so he did come up with me yesterday saying that he has, he's ready right now to request. I don't know
Well,
more than that.
it's December 20th, but we better take that, I mean, it seems a mismatch if we have $6,000 for the pump here, it would seem to go to capital. And
Yeah.
if we still are going to be roped into having to pay 50%.
I would put it in capital, we don't own those, we're reimbursing somebody for work done at the end of the road that we don't own. So I
Well,
never put it in capital.
It's kind of a non-recurrent thing that's going to skew the budget.
But it's in this year's budget, right?
But it's a $12,000 thing, so.
Okay.
We're not sure where we are with the
The
sequence.
total is $12,000, or our share is gonna be?
6 and 6, but I'm not sure whether this 6 in the current fiscal year will clean it, or whether we're doing next year.
Others.
He's requesting reimbursement for those costs in our next year's budget, so that, not knowing we have 6,000 in there now. We usually reimburse them for 50% of the cost, due to the pumps or painting.
And that's the only thing in contracted services? I mean, I thought,
And it says White Sands Beach contractors, that's all it is we reimburse them for their costs and what they
Because-
pay subcontractors.
But we have.
swim lines are somewhere else, okay.
Yeah, they're down
yeah, the
here.
swim lines are down further.
But the actual is
I
very
don't
different.
know, maybe they spent another 20 grand, I don't know.
Yeah.
I only put $10 in there, because I don't know.
And
Well, I guess we could carry it over if we haven't spent it.
Yeah,
But in case there's more, we might have to revisit this line.
There's lines, swim lines, one's got much to spend, the other doesn't.
Talking about $11,076,
See them?
and they'll probably have their hand out.
Why are there two different ones? Oh, supply
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Beyond that $11,000.
Okay.
so for budgeting purposes of talking tonight, I guess we can pass the budget.
We just left 10.
We can always revisit it, prior to
On
the,
my to-do list, revisit once I get the, from now, still have
so were there any other major items?
The other one that's jumping out on me, that for Park and Rec programs, there's $31,000 budgeted, but we've only ever spent $22,000. And I guess I'm wondering if there's some plan to be adding programming that's,
Definitely.
yeah?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
We've already been doing that, and it's gonna get bigger.
Okay.
The addition of my assistant.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
the different yogas and all those
Yeah.
sorts of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those other non-seasonal programs fall under that line?
Yes.
Whereas all the seasonal, additional,
Well, the seasonal wages are up there. There's programs, add new programs,
right.
buy new stuff for that program, that's,
You know,
Not the wages for it.
there's not wages in there at all?
No.
Okay, that's just
no.
whatever.
There was wages in there for referees for soccer and basketball, but Nicole and I discussed that, and we moved that up into the seasonal to keep them constant with financial stuff from the finance office.
Remind me, what's the compensation for Don, for your assistant?
30,
Well, I think that's probably done most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
part-time,
it was
2.
31.7. listed now is 32.5.
Okay.
The question,
As of the past year.
yeah, she's been here almost a year.
Yep.
The question I had about that, if we could talk about that, when we hired Winnie, the dollar amount was a good faith estimate from Nicole about what that job should be. And obviously she's here, agreed to that, and obviously she's here, working out very well. So I'm looking at this, and I see an increase of 2.5%, which apparently is standard across the board. My question is, I don't think there are any steps involved with her job description and stuff like that. And I was wondering if somebody could direct me on how to adjust that. Is there going to be steps?
Well, there wouldn't be this year no matter what, if she's just here, or if she's just started, right? Because steps don't kick in for a while after people start.
About how, like a year? I mean, because that's what she's closing in on.
Well, the steps that we've got right now, I think are,
We don't have steps.
We don't have
We're
steps.
waiting on Randy Frank.
yeah.
So the salaries you have in here have no steps for about another.
But historically, we've had steps.
Yes.
And those have
You're
been
here
roughly
for
5 years, 4 to 5 years, steps.
Right.
Yeah.
But my question was, is there going to be steps for this
Applied to
position
this position?
at some point? Because right now there's none. Because it was a new position, first of all.
Yeah.
We realize that. And then, is there going to be,
Randy will peg the grade.
right,
And where she's compensated, she'll slot her at the step.
right,
And it'll either be 1 to 6 or in between.
right,
If she's above or below, there'll be adjustments.
right. So I understand all that. I just wondered if, when that
It'll be
was,
adjusted once we get the Randy stuff, which will hopefully be in March.
okay, all right.
The budget's
Okay.
finalized.
I wanted to confirm a couple things about if that stuff was happening, and is she where she's supposed to be, or she should be somewhere else, that's all.
Yeah.
That'll be, that too, okay. That's fine.
I mean, the good news, I just looked at the revenue for Park and Rec, and, from Nicole's sheet that she gave us last week, and we budgeted $45,000, and as of end of January, we're at 78.
Yeah, we're
So significantly
over
lower, so
80, we're over 80,000.
that's an important part for us to,
Yeah,
I hadn't looked at that before.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Our revenue is going up a lot.
And obviously, you've got spring programs that are
Yeah.
going to be included in that
Yeah.
revenue, so
Yeah.
that's great.
All right, so if we can quickly entertain some motions on the operating budget, and then we can talk capital. So I'll entertain a motion for the 358,687 for Park and Rec.
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, that carries. Thank you. Likewise for Park and Rec Town Woods Park, the total is 144,910. I'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
second? Thank you.
144,910.
Any discussion at all, questions? Move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Thank you. And then we'll do fireworks and Memorial Day separately. So the 23,400 for fireworks. Entertain a motion for that.
You
I have
want
a
to do those
question.
separately, or do that together with the Memorial
He
Day?
wants to do it separately.
Yeah, it's listed separately, and I think it's listed in our budget sheet
Yeah,
separately.
it's two different lines.
Okay.
Just give you a quick rundown. The fireworks are 21,000, which is increased from 18, and been a tremendous increase. But we haven't gotten the full force of it. The sound man is 1,300, portable toilets 375, light tower 300, M&J bus service 350, so that's within a 9 iron of this amount.
Yeah.
On the next item, the Memorial Day, the fire department had put in for $4,350, but they've not really used it, so I don't know if you wanted to increasing that from 4,000 to 40,350.
Did they have a reason for that?
I think it's
Right.
Historically, it's not even been there.
No. Except for the one year
that
it was.
right on the mark.
Yeah, I think it was a little over that. A little over it.
Yeah.
They supply agencies for it.
Yeah. So I'll entertain a motion for the 23,400 for fireworks first.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Further discussion? Move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Memorial Day, 4,000. I'll entertain a motion for the 4,000.
So moved.
Uh-oh.
Second.
Uh-oh. Family arm wrestling is going to be required. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Great, thank you. All right, capital.
I have one
Sure.
other thing, just a general discussion about income. We are presently putting together some information about all the stuff that we do that involves residents of Lyme and trying to get some compensation for that.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring in some, I'm assuming, some more funding for stuff that we do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that will get
Well,
added or how it will get-
historically, we've only allocated for the
Right,
park. We haven't
right.
for the park and rec. Yeah.
Now, Lyme Park and Rec also runs activities that involve old Lyme kids. So I guess at that point, it's up to them to
Yeah.
turn things around and...
I'll talk to Shyness about it. And, you know, for the 10 kids up there, I mean,
Yeah.
I think a lot more kids are using old Lyme from Lyme.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a significant number of old Lyme kids that end up attending Lyme programs.
So they end up going to Lyme school too. There's all that mixed in there too. Kids
Yeah.
that live in Oline go to Lyme school
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Well, that's a,
Yeah, I know, but it's just.
Yeah, I
right,
mean,
right.
my daughter is obviously an old Lyme kid and is attending Lyme Park and Rec program on Friday.
Right,
yeah.
half a day.
Half day, they're running a 3-hour after-school program, so.
Yeah. Okay, just some additional things.
Glad
down
Lyme
the
is
road.
good in the spirit of giving finally. All right, capital. Facing. Third one.
So while you guys are finding, the main concern on this one is a very significant request for Little League lighting, for both 1 year for a softball field and 1 year for a baseball field, which my opinion is that is not appropriate for the budget, for the amount of money people put at Little League for years and years without lighting. So you can take a look at that.
Well, the story, the League folks contacted me a while back, and with this request of putting lights primarily, or first, at softball field at Cross Lane, and we talked it over, and I told them what they would have to do procedurally to go forward. So they met with us, they came to the last Parks and Rec meeting, talked to the commission. I said they had to do all the land use regulation stuff, if lights are okay, check with the neighbors, all that stuff. And just to keep the ball rolling, we put it in here. They fully understand that it's a large request and it's the 11th hour, so to speak, and they're not really expecting it to happen in this budget. I told them I didn't know, but I said probably not going to work because we've gotten some other stuff. It's the same year as a $57 million tag across the, a lot of things are happening. I said it's probably not going to happen. And they understood that and were actually fine with it. The Parks and Rec Commission was asking about their fundraising efforts because they said they wanted to raise some funds, so they're holding their feet to the fire on that as well. because initially they said, well, we'd like to have the town pay for it. Then I brought up this, and it's also Old Lyme Little League, so is Lyme kicking in? We had all these discussions, and everybody was reasonable, I think, and everybody understands budgets and needs and wants are different, and
I think one of my questions or comments, I guess, would be, the new playground that went in at Cross Lane was largely funded by the Junior Women's Club and their fundraising efforts. Could a similar structure be put into place for Little League lights, that they get the okays and whatever from the town and go through those procedures, but largely do the funding piece themselves?
I strongly suggested that.
Yeah.
Mike, I know nothing about this, but at what hours are the fields used? In other words, you don't need lights in the daylight. Right? So they want to use them when it's dark or dark-ish. And is that to extend the time for using the fields beyond what they're used currently?
Yes.
And is that extension needed because the fields are overutilized, there's an overdemand?
Well, what they'll tell you is that they are the only team in their district where they play that doesn't have lights, and have extended, everybody else is extending the day with these lights to handle more play. That's what they'll tell you.
So they have a need, that they're saying they have
That's what
a
they
need for
say.
more
That's what
hours
they say.
on the field.
Yes.
Is it for a second game, or is it to finish a game? My experience before we changed, when the clocks were set, things like that, if you're in the 7th or 8th inning and it's starting to get dark, they would call the game.
No.
And for us to that much money, it's cold, it's damp, it's in the spring, for another inning or two? I mean, come on. It seems
I think what
absurd.
I'm not going to speak for them, but I think what their thoughts are is other people have them, other people, it's like build it and they will come type of thing, and they want to have more games available for tournament play and stuff like that. That's what they want.
But my question then is, if they start a game at 5:30, 6:30, and it ends at 8:30, are they going to add another game?
Probably, I would guess they would.
So you're going to have 9 and 10-year-olds out there playing and starting a game at 8:30 at night. Not you, but I mean, it just, with a town this size, it doesn't seem.
In my world, all lights mean is a longer day.
Well, and a lot more money.
And more wear and tear on the field.
Right, I mean, come
It'll end
on.
up being more field maintenance in the end if you're adding, even if it's 3 games a week.
Right.
At night.
I don't disagree with anything like that. I'm not a big proponent of lights for Little League games.
Yeah.
I will say that a few of the Parks and Rec Commission members thought it was a good idea.
I'm sure.
Didn't make any decisions, but.
Well, why don't we do this?
Yeah, okay, Matt.
I'm on the league as well.
Yep.
I'm the treasurer over there, involved with it for 15 years, so there's different aspects of it too. You can host all-star tournaments, you can host other things, on 9, 10-year-olds, all the way up to 15.
Right.
10 or 11, 12
Yep.
year olds, so. Give me a chance. Revenue generating things in the little leagues as well. I know it's a big ask, but I would maybe let the board of finance consider even just contributing some money towards it, towards the future. Like, we have these capital funds, we put money aside, and then, okay, we're going to only give you this much, you have to raise the rest. So, I don't want to be closed-minded and I know it's a big number. I know we've had very generous people in the community who helped us out a lot over the last few years. So, there is other aspects of it that is important.
I think since it's a Park and Rec budget line item, that Park and Rec should opine upon it and then come to the selectmen and say this should be part of the budget, and then come to the Board of Finance. So I think we're, process-wise, it's a little bit ahead of itself. So maybe for this year, we'll push it. We can put it in next year because this is just a long-term budget anyway. And if you guys want to talk to Park and Rec, let's go through the right channels before kind of plopping it into budget season.
And I can connect you with. Go ahead. I was going to say I can certainly connect you with people who are on the Junior Women's Club when they went through that whole playground process.
No, I think we're all aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah. She ran that show. She's there.
No, I apologize, I didn't know you were back down there. I would've had-
Don slamming the project up.
Always have to look behind you.
We've never asked for something like this, we don't know, Park and Rec has been great for the league as far as like providing play.
Yeah.
Yep.
During the year, so I mean, it's one of those things that it's a wish list, and if we kind of know the rules and what we need to raise as fundraising,
Right.
or something like that, then we'll make those efforts.
I had just put it on the budget just as a placeholder to have us talk about it,
Mhm.
and like
Okay.
a year or 2 out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or 5.
You know, they have to decide whether they want the project to go forward.
Okay,
So-
great. Yeah,
That's why
so,
it's in there, and we knew that it was gonna be pushed out.
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
so.
Do we have any idea what the operating costs are and how long the structures last before they need to be replaced?
Matt?
Electricity use.
yeah.
That'd be
So,
important.
You guys, if Little League gets its act together and presentation and arguments and stuff, and then go to Park and Rec, and then, let's raise it from there, yeah.
They did for that one, Mark.
But Park and Rec didn't vote on it, right?
No, they did not vote on it.
Right,
no.
so,
The first presentation, yeah.
yeah. Okay,
So, do we need a motion to move it out a year? Or, we're not doing
voting.
capital, that's right.
Yeah.
Make a note.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Anything else of note in capital?
Good job.
I just have one question for Don on the, Crossland, tennis courts.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people requesting the pickleball court.
Yeah, that's in the process. Yep.
Yeah.
So we should have a part of it.
Yeah, definitely is.
Don, the Townwoods Park, $11,000 for fire alarm camera system. Is that, I'm trying to think if that's with the IT committee?
It is.
Okay,
It is.
all right.
I have no information to talk to you about that.
From when the alarms have to be operated, right?
Right, which they did, the digital stuff, that was done.
To get something on an app or, I don't know, that was a field deal, and people got money in and
Well, I know we have some cameras out there that are not supported anymore, not recommended. I think they're made in China, and for municipalities, they're not recommended to be used. They're not secure. So one thing that's come out of the IT committee is, and we talked a little bit about it last week, we did a field trip, Matt and I and Tom, to Chester, and looked at and talked to their town hall people, and they said, you gotta go with the same cameras everywhere. So they're
That makes
all
sense.
accessible to whoever needs to have them, and they're on the same platform.
Yeah.
So, that's just something that, as long as this is coordinated, I guess, through CT Comp and the IT committee. I don't know if the 11,000 is enough. I don't know. But I think we have an IT meeting on Friday. I'll bring it up there.
Dave?
Yeah.
On the bottom line, Cross Lane basketball tennis, there are a lot of numbers there for 5-year program, 150. Is that all we have squirreled away, or what's the status of all these bottom line numbers and the cost of the project and all that? Is there a...
Well, that was we have, for the courts, 300,000 available right now. And
So this will make 450?
yes,
So
and
this should be 450 in the right-hand thing?
5-year.
I think that's totaling 23, 24.
Yeah, it's not,
728.
not prior budget years,
It's
I
not,
think.
yeah,
It's
it's
only-
future budget years, it looks like.
That's this year plus
I mean,
4 more
It'd be
years.
helpful to know, all right, if this is approved, we'd have 450. Is that going to do it all?
it should, unless they surprise you with some more costs.
And when we go from transfer out, we transfer the money for all of that stuff in this part of the capital project fund. So it sits in there, and when we go over to transfer out, I will give you a schedule of what's in there and what's available.
Yeah, your question though,
Well, that's Fund 26. Is that the same fund?
That's the Park and Rec capital fund, yes.
So that's what this is titled. Is the 497 the balance in the fund then?
No, on that schedule, I've spent some, I put all the money in there for your transfer out. We've spent some on some projects, but not all of it, so there might be some residual.
Okay.
So that's where I factored that in, how much.
But these 150 should be available for this.
Instead of the 150 at the end of it.
Next year's budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The courts are, basketball courts and the tennis courts are in dire need of repair. And we've been holding off and building up so we could mobilize one time and do the courts instead of type of thing. That's what we've been doing here. So we've been trying to save money and.
We get the space age technology from the schools.
Right.
So there's that.
Right. And to answer Matt's question, anybody else's question, there's 3 tennis courts down there, and we're probably going to rebuild 2 tennis courts and then have 4 pickleball courts on where the 3rd tennis court was to help everybody with all that stuff.
And the basketball courts.
Yes, and they're separate.
And lights taking place.
No.
Shorten your day.
How about we make the country club there?
All right. Thank you very much, Don. I'm sorry, any further questions or for Don? Great.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any questions, give me a shout, and if something comes up or remember something they forgot about.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Public Works, DJ and Matt, and Ed.
Use my reach. Kim, you guys got them right.
Updated.
Who's got my reach?
This is the paving schedule. Is there another copy of this? From Michelle?
We'll make it the new road.
Say what?
Would you like me to make you a copy? Okay.
Fine.
Everything's relative.
Then,
Here, you are it.
Everyone look at their road.
Mine's not. Well, you're a private association. My road's not on here.
It's actually dirt.
It's 30 years old, never been paid.
All right, let's start with operating budget if we could. I'll give everybody a couple minutes to just take a look at the budget request, formulate any questions.
yeah, on the operating budget, I met with Ed, Matt had a conflict. We went over it, and there's not, the aggregate change is modest in the operating budget, $12,000.
Yeah.
And, going from each line item from year to year, something may be up, something may be down, but balances out. And as Ed says, if there's an excess in the budget, it comes back to the town. So I don't have any recommendations for changes in Ed's request for the operating budget.
That makes sense.
That's helpful.
At the physical line 000, what are the physical stuff?
Physicals are, it's actually their choice where they do their physicals.
Right, but what do you charge us? Because the physical line shows zeros across the board and a zero budget this year. So where are those physical charges? applies?
We've,
That's not really. Are they required every year or every 2 years?
they're required physicals, CDL physicals when their license is up.
And how long is that for?
Now, what is the license? 3 years?
For CDL?
Yeah, it's all different because they don't.
Right, of course.
At once.
Those are pretty inexpensive. How many guys are there? 5?
There are 6.
And those are $100, right?
Yeah, so this doesn't make a lot of sense on that. I would think we need physicals.
If they,
Take the line out then?
if they get a physical and let's say they charge $150, the town reimburses them for that money.
But
Would have to be charged.
That's what we're trying to figure out what line it's on.
where it is in here.
Because on the physical line, there's no dollar.
Zero, there's no.
Paid in 21,
Uniform.
22.
Always have, yeah, you, in,
Yeah,
choose.
just,
But only $126 so far, and doesn't make any difference.
Well, it could be,
I missed
could be one or
that.
two physicals
I missed
each.
that with the-
Yeah, but she said maybe it was in drug testing, it wouldn't cover it.
Is that drug and alcohol testing separate from the physicals, or is that?
Yes, on the second page.
No, that.
I think that's what we should have.
Are we making it comfortable for them to request a reimbursement?
Yes.
Thank you.
Making it comfortable.
Well, I mean, they're not discouraged from submitting their reimbursement.
No, we have to keep it in 40 days versus before.
I missed that physical.
It's just, it's down.
you can have 2, Ed, to make up for it.
Let me just make one more comment. The last item on here for uniforms, increase of $5,000, is an increase over the actuals from prior years. And I'll let Ed explain it, but as I understand it, this year, the first time, at least in some time, Ed is getting uniforms for all the public works folks and insisting that they wear them.
It was put in their union contract that they went back to uniforms. In the past, the town would give them $250 for 4 pairs of pants and shirts. Well, they put in their budget, in their contract now that they wanted uniforms.
Okay.
So that's why that increase is so large, because we have to rent them, and I took, it's less than $18 or something, that there's an insurance policy that if they're lost or they get ripped, they get replaced for nothing.
Good.
We're not charged for the pants or anything.
All white. Like a Tide commercial. The one thing that stands out to me is trees, and we have had this conversation historically. And you're always over a little bit, but we were under for a long time, so we hadn't done the work, is my recollection of 4 or 5
Well,
years.
here's what happened this year. This year is, at the beginning of the budget, we had 8 or 9 trees in Cross Lane Park that had to come down. And they were in an area where we had to get a crane to take them out.
So that
That
soaked
ate
up
up $13,000 right up the top.
They were just unusual situations
Yeah,
compared
yeah.
to just taking down a tree, yeah.
They were a hazard with the kids and everything around. They had to come out.
So you're good with the 25 grand for the...
Yes, that should be fine. Everything should balance out again. Like my maintenance this year, I had a black cloud and there was repairs that had to be done. Just want to bring one thing up. We just hired a new fellow named Jeff Benedetto, who worked for us years ago. He is certified to work on Bobcats, all the hydraulic equipment. We just had 2 cylinders, one leak on our backhoe that's going to the dump. 1 cylinder replaced would have run us $1,400. We did it for parts for $380.
Can I send my machine up?
This kid is good. We service
Heating and air conditioning or something?
No, he's not related.
Oh.
Not related.
I wondered the same thing.
Yeah, I
We
wonder-
spent last year $2,300 to have the yearly service done on our Bobcat Mini. It'll be done by him this year, and if it's $1,000, it'll be a lot. So that was a big home run.
Great. All right, I'll entertain a motion for
Do
the,
you want, what do you want to do with physical? Do you want to put something in?
Yeah,
We probably should put,
5 guys, even
No,
though
but
it's
it's
not
not
every
every
year,
year.
I understand
Yeah,
that.
six-
But
But it's gotta be a couple if they
Nicole, you
were
think it's being charged down to the
drug and
drug medical testing line?
it might, yeah.
Drug testing, right, that's random drug testing.
Okay.
Right.
Certain people through Foley, right?
Right.
And certain people get picked every, you know.
Right.
Every.
Randomly.
It's random, so, and then there are physicals random,
Well, they have to get a physical every year, right?
No, they don't.
No.
Only when their CDL license is up, unless they have diabetic or high blood pressure, then they have to go every year and have that checked for their CDL.
CDL,
Right.
yeah.
But that's
Otherwise,
testing.
it's not, I think your license now are 3 or 4 years, so until your license is due, you don't go for the physical. I don't, well, wait a minute, I believe it's through the insurance every year, but the insurance picks that up. So,
I was just gonna say, doesn't the insurance
So it's coming under
have charge for
Well,
instead of
insurance
expense to public.
if they go
works.
somewhere, this is what Nicole was saying, if they go somewhere, then they get charged,
That might
let's
be-
say, then it comes out of the
Medical.
medical.
Yeah.
That's why
That
it's
makes
not
more
in there.
sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
So do you want the line or not?
So we should be good. I mean, we haven't had any trouble so far, and it's been working.
Okay, great. So I'll entertain a
For the
motion.
928,892?
Is there a second?
For the Valentine's Day.
I'll second.
Already.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion or questions? We do a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Great. Capital. So the road schedule, paving, Ed, this is kind of an FYI.
That's all it is. I mean, this could change year to year because a perfect example is McCurdy Road. McCurdy Road wasn't in it. I had to bump it up because McCurdy Road is getting in rough shape. We did some repair to hold it.
Yep.
And the reason is, once again, we did a system back when Mr. Roach was on called coal mix. Well, it's starting to haunting.
Yeah.
Is this the big pothole in front of the high school, drop off? Driving me absolutely crazy.
Can I bill them for that?
Yes, you can. I think you should. Yeah.
All right.
Capital is really only one thing in there. I think you'll see that, Nicole, we moved $100,000 or $200,000. Okay, all right. All right.
So we've only got a couple of items.
Right, so page 2.
Yep.
In the middle, DPW repair rear wall area and beams. We have 65 in the budget today, but it needs another, we have another 1,806, so I'm saying like the, right, Ed?
Wait, what are you?
Where are we?
Public Works.
Public Works project.
No, we own a different page, page 2.
Page 2, the first one that I see
Small
is,
equipment.
Small equipment.
On the line right on there.
Oh,
No,
no, you're on the wrong page.
It's like the third page, 1, 2, 3.
I think what Nicole's saying is that the 6,500 in this year's budget hasn't been spent, but
Public Works project.
Small
$5,000.
The 5,000 for small equipment?
It's right here.
It says page 2, but it's page 3. Kind of.
page 2 up here.
Oh, the 90, okay.
right.
Let me explain the $9,600. The building up there, the
I got it, yeah.
Okay.
the Butler building up there has the main beams that come down. 4 of those beams are rotted at the bottom to a point where I showed BJ where there's holes in them. So, I had Mac to give me a price. In this year's budget, there was $6,500 that Phil put in towards these beams. I've asked Nicole to carry that over, and here's why. When we open those walls up, I don't know what we're gonna find. So I'd rather have that. I'm not saying we're gonna spend it, but if there's something hidden there, I don't wanna say 6 to 93 isn't gonna do the job and have to come back. Because we have to take, there's metal panels that have to be replaced that we're gonna replace with plywood, because Todd called me and said they had to order those panels because there's so few, it will be astronomical for the cost, so we can put plywood up.
Yeah.
But the main beams, there's 4 of them that come down from the roof. At the base, there's holes right through them. So he'll take and he'll put rods through it, and then we'll encase it in concrete and anchor it to the floor so those beams can't move. Because right now, I showed there's a hole right in them, and there's 4 of them where one of them's not even on the bottom of the floor, and that's holding the garage.
The posts.
The posts.
Yeah.
4 of them.
Okay.
That's what that is.
So between the 2 years, the carryover and the new money, there's maybe 16,000.
Which we're not saying we're gonna use, but.
Unknown.
Right.
Cost is an unknown.
Yep.
Question.
But the 6,500 is already there, so I'm just asking to carry it, and if we use it, at least we don't go over and
Got it.
I need more money. It's the worst thing
So that one makes sense. And then we have Public Works projects. The primary one is Grassy Hill.
Right.
No explanation needed there, except that would be the number, rest assured.
Where are you, Dave?
I'm on
Page 4.
Keep going. The top of the page.
Which has been in there, and then, things have changed.
Oh, yeah,
You see,
yeah.
I had a couple of pages that were just upside down. I couldn't find the first one, but I'm acclimated now. And then the equipment, we've got just 2 items there. One is the pickup truck.
Yes, that's to replace the Explorer I'm in.
Yep.
This pickup, I even got everything, all the molding and everything is black, and the wheels are black. I did go and look for a used pickup. I did some research. I found a 2019 with 39,000 miles on it, and the way used trucks are, they wanted $38,000 for it. So by the time you have to add $2,000 for an extended warranty, and you've got a truck that you've taken almost 40,000 miles out of its life. I own one of these pickups. It's a Ford Ranger. I own it myself. It's very dependable, good on fuel, and I think it's the way to go. It will have the capability to put a plow on it, which I can't see, but it's there.
But you've also got a bed that you don't have right now in the
No,
Explorer.
right. The bed will have a cover on it. It's a little short bed, so I can put some stuff in there. I take my nice signs that people are advertising off the side of the road.
Great. Any questions for Ed or BJ on capital-related stuff?
Just how many miles on the 2017?
Got 185 on it now. By the time this truck comes in, it'll be over 200.
Not much value left in that.
Oh, I'm gonna ask 6,500 for it on the website, and I think we'll get it.
Yeah. It's got the 8 in it?
No, it's a V6.
Okay.
Those are on page 6 at the end.
Yeah, we moved 100 or 200,000 now. What do we do on the equipment? I moved it back to housing every year. Oh, the roads. Yeah, okay, the roads, we have McCurdy Road in for next year. Roland Road is in for next year, and Academy Lane, Academy or
Beckwith.
With Beckwith. And then the following year, I have Sill Lane 1 and 2 in. And then we've gone, there's other lists in here, but as I ride around, yeah, that's good, but, I've gotta put, Otter Rock in there. That road's totally falling apart. I'm hoping to dig that out of 24, 25 with Sill Lane.
So right now, no expectation for what's planned for next budget year to change, right?
No. Next budget is McCurdy Road, Beckwith, and Roland Road.
Got it. Great. No action on that quite yet. Well, thank you very much, Ed.
Nicole's been working very closely with me on the roads. We've been trying.
Yeah, this is in great shape. Thank you very much.
There's some that are on, I go out as far as there's some that are not fitting the column yet. Ed's got to try to find the time to go around on all those, several roads to figure out what you're going on.
Right.
But I do have something like 2030 and beyond.
Right, yeah.
Some of them are in there, some of them aren't there at all. So I'm sure Ed will find the time.
She's gotta find the time to keep going.
Okay.
All right, and the good news is, the backhoe, I got a delivery date for March 14th. They told us a year, I ordered it last May. They were close.
That's good. Because it gets these days.
All right, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
That's
Careful.
Workman's comp.
IT budget. Finally,
Wrap it around his ankle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Since Dave Rabin just escaped.
I was gonna make a motion to move him up.
Yeah. Sanitation, quick and easy, or no? Yeah, for like a minute.
Yeah, we can start the sanitation deal. Okay, so the municipal refuse, you're on page 1 of the...
Oh, here comes it.
Oh, there he is, okay. You're up.
An indulgence.
Make a motion to move other public safety up to the next item in the agenda.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. So we have,
Emergency management.
We had was on $50,000 for COVID.
yeah,
Yeah.
The financial one. The next step.
At this point in time, the federal government has come out and said they're going to close the declaration in May. If they do that, then I do not feel that line item would be required going into 23. So, and in the event after July of 23, if anything like that happens again, they'll just come back to the Board of Finance and start all over again.
Probably $10.
flexibility.
If you have something else, and you have thousands, you have one open,
Yeah,
I would be like,
so 35,562 is what we end up with.
Cool.
So I will entertain a motion for 35,562 for emergency management.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
and they have 35,560.
Yes. Great. Ambulance ambulance, fire protection, fire marshal. Fire protection, fire marshal, 560.
So we're not funding a part-time assistant fire inspector. Are we all caught up on the inspections?
We, through getting the hiring process done, we finally were able to get it through, and he started last week.
My question is, there's no money in it for next year.
Correct.
So we're caught up, or we will be caught up by June 30th?
If we're not caught up by June 30th, it'll carry over until
Carry over
25.
the $5,000 from this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Rather than.
So we don't need, that's.
Great.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
I think that was our question.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't, just making sure we don't need to have inspections.
Okay.
So that number's
Education and training, do you anticipate
Everybody's,
more books and?
everybody's fees are going up. We're in a new budget. We're in a new code season now. We're just starting to purchase the new codes with this year's budget, so I don't really anticipate a lot of code book buying next year. For education and training line items, everybody's going up. I mean, I remember when it used to be $150, $200 for a 2-day program for continuing ed. Now it's up to $350, possibly $400 on some of them. So, I mean, it's a good estimated line item in there that I think would be continuing.
I mean, historically, it looks like you've only spent, the most you spent there is $650.
So is 1,500 a good number,
It's a good number.
even though we've never spent that much?
Yeah.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for the $80,837.
Garvin?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Stuff. Anything you want to preview with us?
When Tim and I met in preparation of this meeting, we did not discuss anything or bring anything up regarding capital. We assumed that it was going to be a future meeting.
No problem.
So,
Yes.
what's that?
The grant, the $995?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing with everything that's been passed at the federal level? They reduced the grant from 100% to 75-25?
And all I can think of is, I'm sorry, the federal government must have overspent somewhere, someplace. Not wondering if it is. But that, you know, as explained in the email that I forwarded to both Tim and Nicole today, you know, we were able to receive confirmation of it. But we have no idea what basically the rules of engagement are going to be, other than they came out and they confirmed it's a 75-25 match. Looking forward with this, once we do get approval to move forward, as Tim said, mentioned this today when he and I were going back and forth over it, was, you know, possibly putting in a line item just to be able to start with a study and then be able to expand and contract as we go. But at this point in time, I have nothing valid to be able to fall into other than the checks in the mail.
Yeah.
For a sec.
Okay. We'll wait for the full story.
Once we receive more information, we'll forward it back.
Great.
Through the channel.
Was it in capital? We have to do the growth.
Well, if we,
What's the timetable for spending any money there?
yeah.
At this point in time, it was, at the time of application, back in 2022, it was, timeframe was up to 2025. Since they're pushing that forward, I can only assume that it may be a 26 or a 2027 completion date.
So, I mean, the way you described it was, okay, now we've got some funding, right? But we need to clearly identify the project, the overall cost, those sorts of things. Our capital expenditure voting meeting is the 21st of March. So if there's a way that we can have at least a preview of what you're thinking about at that time, that'd be great. Because if you are going to do something in the budget season, people do want to at least see what you're thinking about. We're going to have money for some sort of feasibility study. Or
I do have a conceptual quote that I received 4 years ago when I started this application from a contractor with a conceptual white box build out and a conceptual appearance of what it may look like. And I've got a conceptual cost of about $350 a square foot. What that was 4 years ago.
Yeah. So whatever
But it's a beginning.
that's concrete that would give folks confidence or enough information to make their decision about having confidence in.
So what I can do is I can reach out to that firm again and see if they want to.
And also just to clearly
Off it all.
define scope. What are we actually talking about? Because that's the starting point.
Basically, the ballpark of scope is to be able to put 1,000 to a 1,200 square foot single store addition with a second floor peaked roof with storage on the front right side of Fountain Road Station to be able to put in, have the room constructed and designed so it would serve multiple purposes. One, serving as an operational center to be able to have adequate workspaces for everybody to spread out and actually perform without being on top of everybody. Two, having a dedicated space in there for my call center, who during storms and events, we activate the call center and people from the town call in with questions, comments, or whatever they have. That was part of the main room, was always a disruption, a disturbance in the past, being able to isolate that off. Keeping the original conference room and kitchen area as it is, and also configuring the white box for utilization as training room for both fire and EMS if needed, allowing it to be able to be constructed into a classroom-style environment with seats and chairs, and having all those seats and chairs mobile where we can position them. We can create workstations, we can create work areas, or we can roll these things around and make a classroom-type environment in it if the fire department wanted to use it. Basically, I'm looking at utilizing future millstone funds, special project millstone funding, to be able to do a lot of the outfitting in regards to electronics, displays, fit out. I'm just looking, trying to get this as a white box.
Yeah, what would be most helpful is a complete picture. So you start with the scope, including the fit out, and then roughly cost that out so people know that it's bigger than a bread box and smaller than an elephant.
Yeah.
What are we dealing with? And then, okay, we've got a grant, so that's good. How do we fund the rest is the next step, so over some period of time.
Okay.
And also, what's grant eligible, such as fixture and furnishing, soft costs, legal.
Again, I don't have any detail.
No, but we're just laying out what would be most helpful for people to make a decision.
Year, we're going to have some seed money for this thing, so
yes,
it'll either be reimbursed or not. But
But 4 years ago is a long time, especially, so much has changed. So I'm sure the conceptual cost is so different today than it was back then.
Yeah.
What I can do is I can reach out to the contractor who assisted me in the initial design, see if they can polish it off for today's rates.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'd love to.
They'd love to.
Yeah.
All right.
Just hold a parade vehicle?
Okay. No. Why, do you want to turn it, have an addition as a museum?
Antique plate on it?
No, it's going to be a stationary object.
Great, thank you very much, Dave.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave.
And always, whenever we have a storm or event and we activate that room, anybody in this room or anybody on this board is more than welcome to come up and see exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, but we're told to stay at home.
Yeah.
Off the road.
Do not go out on the road.
Do not go out on the road. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
And Nicole, thank you for forwarding that.
All right, since we've moved up other public safety, I think we'll finish that off. We had ambulance and fire protection. So if we take a look at ambulance first, which I think is straightforward, isn't it, Nicole? Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So I will entertain the 172,855 for ambulance.
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions or comments? Here none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Fire protection.
We have a
I looked at it and met last week, so I went through that, and I just needed to say move based on the amount that they provided.
Yeah.
And based on that, 48,200. So I think this is rounded up.
To 50 grand?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you never know.
Yep.
Right now it's 44.
Right.
We had all that pipe and some too.
Not the hydrant.
Really?
Yeah. I thought we should, because we're gonna go over 44,000 in the budget for this year.
So it's just their increases.
Yeah, I think the other one we use this year. So yeah, I was thinking 44 to 50,000.
Nothing we can do about this one,
Nope.
except round less.
Pay later.
I'll entertain a motion for the 50 grand.
So moved.
All right, moved and seconded. Any discussion, comments, et cetera?
Kim.
Move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right. Sanitation. Funny.
Okay, a lot of changes this year, except for the municipal refuse collection, which is the multi-year contract with CWPM. That takes the garbage from your house to New London. And that's a given. So that number is 568,218. The single stream recycling is also now through CWPM, used to be MIRA. MIRA had a higher charge for refuse going to Hartford from Essex, but they didn't charge for the recycling. When we signed up with CWPM, they dropped the tonnage charge from 111 to 90. So that was a benefit, but the the refuse was charged, and there was to be a credit for the value of the recycling materials. It started out where we got about $75 a ton for recycling. The low was a couple of months ago at $2 and change for the recycling. I said, well, why don't you just put it all in the trash? And they said, not so easy. It's up to now 17 and change, and we're hoping that materials will increase. It's hard to believe with Amazon and all these things using cardboard that recycling cardboard wouldn't still be popular, but all this stuff is not worth a lot. So, because the credit is variable and we haven't been tracking the tonnage when it went up to MIRA, I'm guessing, doing some mumbo jumbo, that the recycling, a number of 135,000 would be prudent. That's taking kind of an average market rate for recyclables, offsetting the charge for the service. And then the refuse, the last one, CR, MIRA, those both can be made CWPM. That can go to 300,000 because the 3,000 tons we're sending at 300 some odd tons at dollars, that would be a safe bet there.
So we had 365 in the...
Yeah, we can drop that to...
Very preliminary.
$111 a ton.
All right.
And what, for the trash?
For the single stream, just taking the tonnage, which we're not through a full year yet tracking it, but I'm putting 135,000 for that line.
And then
So that zero is going up to 135.
For the single stream.
Yeah, I wasn't putting.
So 568, 135, and 300.
There's no single stream.
Well, there is on mine.
Well, there's zero though.
Well, we're being charged now.
Oh, okay, that's what you said.
Yeah.
So 135 there and 300 for the bottom number?
Right, and if if the marketing, the credits could turn out to be like 75, like when we started, this could reduce that 135 dramatically, but,
03.
So the total of those three numbers, 568, 218, 135, and 300 is 1003218.
Again, Dave?
1,000,000,218.
Top number, which is, June of this
One,
year is the invoice.
003.
So I would assume that it's gonna probably go up from the 568.
okay, are we up this June, before yours is up?
Yes.
Is it?
Big surprise.
Yes, I have the contract right here.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
That number's no good.
Sure, if you wanna bump it up or...
Well, maybe we'll just pass on this,
and
because
Get a good number.
we'll meet with them, because it's only June, so that's close.
I'm surprised I haven't heard from them.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it took us, I guess Chris Kerr was part of
Since
it.
they're doing so well with our other stuff, maybe we can,
All right, so let's table that.
yeah, we'll pass on this.
Could be a mess.
a couple hundred. I guess it's 30.
Yeah, that's not gonna stay the same.
No.
No. Not after 40.
Might have to put it out to bid again.
So,
Longer than 10.
All right, so recycling itself, I think the numbers as reported look good. Might keep the recycling, education, and training, make that at $10 instead of $0. This NIP money we're getting, which is stunning, they have to do something with it. So I think we can, the recycling committee expenditures and training, those two lines might be a place where the committee could spend close to $17,000 for the past year of collections. They haven't come up with a plan as yet, but at least,
But the 3750 did come from the committee,
okay.
and it's like postage, printing, quantity of them,
Yeah,
a banner, so that came from them. The rest kind of got reviewed by Ed, with me. So-
Now,
Recycling
if
committee
we get that
expend.
grant, do we have to flow it through the budget when we spend it, such as this budget?
The opioid or the NIP.
NIP money.
Separate funding streams. Both of those are in separate special revenue funds.
So we don't need to put that through the budget?
No, so you just-
Okay,
yeah.
so I still recommend maybe the $10 just in case. Which would make it 26,460. I think that's,
Why don't they make the NIPS deposit like $1?
Oh, the NIP, I can.
no, it's 5 cents.
Does that go towards picking them all up along the back?
That doesn't dissuade people from throwing them out. $1 would, they'd be bringing them back.
But they can't, they don't take them back at the liquor stores.
Where are they taking
What do you
them?
mean?
They don't.
They don't?
They don't.
Oh,
they
it's
don't
just a
bring them
nickel?
back. It's the fee flows back
It's a fee
to
on
the
top.
zip code based on how many you sell in your zip code.
Right, exactly.
From the distributor.
From the distributors.
Right.
The distributors collect it.
Can I give
It's
them
not
a
a-
bill? Because I collect on Huntley Road like a bunch of NIPS.
My wife used to pick up
Yep.
hundreds a day.
You can't return them 10
With
cents.
over 90,000.
Like a
for the
commission on
6
each
months
one.
ended September.
I'm sure the state takes a
90,000
shit.
and 4.
Oh, of course they do.
Here?
Yeah.
Wow. That's better than Park and Rec.
It's called adult parking. Come on, it's
Founded.
All right.
So do you look,
So
you
what are
need
we
a
doing for
motion for
recycling?
26,460? That puts the $10 back on the education and training line, just to keep the line there?
Yeah, before we go to that, though, Andy, Tim, the line item, recycling all items, that we have a budget that went from 20,000 to 15,000, but we've never spent more than 3,000 or 4,000. What is that for, and do we need to carry 15,000?
What's 20?
People do bring metal and other stuff to the transfer station, so it's not collected through the household distribution that way.
We were decreasing it because we weren't getting charged for certain things. They were paying us for some things to charge us.
Producer.
You could cut that if you wanted.
Yeah, I'd decrease it at least
Make
to
it
10.
$5,000.
Yeah. Well,
We've never
Or
spent more.
5 or 10?
Yeah.
but we're up to 2,700 and it's less than half a year.
Right.
Maybe make it
Well, that was
500?
That was through
November.
Yeah.
So let's just,
That's 4593 now, or as of January.
it's how much?
45.93.
Okay,
Okay, so
maybe,
10 grand.
maybe 10
make
grand.
it 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So make that 10.
Thanks, Matt. 5,
And so
21.
21,460?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion for the 21,460, unless BJ can find another 5,000.
I think BJ's gonna second it.
Is there a second?
Come on, BJ.
I'll second.
What is this for?
Recycling, 21,460.
All right, any additional comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. 21,460 for recycling. Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Just in time.
Grab one and have them now.
Wow.
I just have it for the keys and I don't sort them down.
It's the same one.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, thank you. The river. Okay.
So the household hazardous waste used to have the collection at Essex on Dump Road. That has been abandoned. So it's only done through satellite collections. And there's a schedule of where they are and all that. So it's a 17-pound deal. So anyone can go to any collection, but obviously the ones that are close by are the best. We had one this past summer at the school here, but they rotated around. The apportionment of the costs are, as you see it, we're 4.57% of the whole. They do maintain what's called a SLAM account, so if somebody brings in a tremendous amount of asbestos or some other stuff that moves the needle, the town pays a good part of it, funds the remainder. So that mitigates that. We use a contractor who, because there's no place to store things from one collection to the next, if a barrel is partially filled, it's counted as a barrel, so that's a negative. But we don't have the cost of maintaining the facility, so that is good as well. So the best guess is our cost will be $3,422, and then our dues separate.
I just rounded it to 3,500.
Yeah.
I rounded it to
Oh.
3,500.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Keep track of dollars.
Okay, household activity at 14.
I have a comment on the next one.
Yeah.
So you see, last year you said 26,000.
Right.
And that's instead we just had an event here in town,
Okay.
I guess. And so there was one event, and I don't know, I'm assuming this is the one that was in town, was $11,000.
So that adds-
Okay. The household from all that. And usually they're in other towns, and we might get like a $2,000 or a $4,000 bill, but that one here really pushed us over. So I'm not sure how often they do them. Tim, do they do them in Old Line every year, or?
We're not gonna have one this year.
Make everyone aware of the lines.
But with that said, Nicole, the year before it was 13,198. I wonder if 14 is going to be enough. If last year was 11, that was additional, that would still make it 15. Should we bump it up at all? Or leave it? So far, Matt, do you have the number, the actuals on that through January? Household has...
1,830.
No, this should be good then.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of activity in the
But
spring,
still.
and it's longer, but I don't think it's gonna go.
No, I think you're right.
So you want to make the...
17,500 is a good number between the two.
Sounds like it.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Any further discussion, comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Transfer station. Oh, should have asked that about this.
Wages and contracted services.
All that's
That's a whole different
81, that's
10
a whole
grand
increase.
right there.
no change.
It's just a top
Yep,
line.
exactly.
Questions, observations?
Transfer station?
All right, Ed and I sat down with that, and that we did based on, obviously, the one that the contracting services that's just hauling out all the trash that's delivered to the dump. And it's both recycling and, trash. I think the recycling just gets bigger and bigger. I just kept pumping out based on history.
Yeah, plus we jumped up the transfer station fee structure, went from a 120 to 150 a ton, plus increasing some of the other items to try to keep up, because Don was saying we're losing money with these increases the vendors are charging us. Plus, when the wood is chipped, it used to be taken away free, now they charge us to take the chips away.
Well, entertain a motion for the 281-136.
Go ahead. Second.
Further discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. That motion carries. Debt service.
So that's, on the agency, I included the information schedule, that goes out, that's not currently. And for this year, interest and principal is $443.
Objections?
We don't have a floating rate that's going up by 50%.
Anyone want to cut that? Put the town at
Pay it
risk.
down.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion. Do we have to vote on this? Yeah, I guess we have.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion for the 443.
Second. Anything else? Move to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay.
Dave,
Yeah.
I might interject, I talked to David Long up in Lyme as well as Jack Collins about the possible referendum or whatever about the debt. If it indeed is, say, 5 million, which we don't know the numbers yet.
This is for the senior center.
Senior center,
Yeah.
right, yeah. He said that Lyme doesn't do referendum. I guess they don't borrow much. But Jack said that they could do their own vote at a town meeting in Lyme for their portion, but it would say the whole. Everybody's got to approve the expenditure of the gross amount of money, I think. Say the 5 million, of which the town would be, their town would be 25%, ours would be 75%. So if we wanted to have a referendum, because if it was, 75% of $5 million, that's a big number, and you probably would want to do a referendum versus just a town meeting in the auditorium or something. So if we could, one possibility would be to do it along with the budget meeting in May, failing that sometime during the summer, because I think when we can do it off-season, the beach community doesn't want to.
Yep.
So hopefully the project will have a pretty good estimate of the probable cost, plus everything else that goes with it, and we can frame that up, and then we'd have maybe a public information meeting, and then follow it up with, I don't know, it'd be collectively we'd want to talk about, do we want a referendum or a town vote?
Tim, is it optional? I've been involved in the discussions at the building committee with you involved, and there was a question whether it was a legal obligation to have a referendum at some threshold dollar amount. Has that question been answered?
I can't answer that, yes or no, but I think if it's going to be $3.5 to $4 million, I think it should be a referendum.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be 6 till 8 p.m., 6 a.m., 8 p.m., it might be noon to something. May, the school is still in session, so we could have a summer referendum. I think the drawings and all the stuff are supposed to be, the bid things are supposed to be approximately ready in July.
Yep.
So we could have an August vote, maybe, if we didn't want to try to do something for the vote, the town meeting vote. But, I think a referendum would be sensible, and probably Lyme would do it at the same time, just with their town meeting, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
The condition would be that both towns would have to approve it. It wouldn't be like the school referendum where you take all the votes together, you know, if they voted it down and we voted it up, then I guess the condition would be the thing fails, and he'd have to figure out how to make it work,
Yeah.
and vice versa, so.
But it does seem to me it's a Board of Selectmen decision. You know, my personal view might be for or against a referendum, but I think it's a Board of Selectmen to decide.
We haven't.
If it's discretionary to decide.
Yeah, that's a Jack Collins question, so. I don't think that there's any sort of trigger for.
Well, if we don't have to have it, then presumably an alternative would simply be to have public meetings and get some public input. And then.
But historically, we've had referenda for material projects in the past, like the town hall and that sort of thing.
Okay.
As opposed to getting 20 people at the town meeting and then people finding out about it and getting angry
If they
because.
were to bond for it, I think you'd want to go to the town meeting. and have that.
We probably do notes, right?
Yeah, but it's still.
Well, you,
Bond long-term.
Finance.
Whatever you want to call it, it's still.
Just try to avoid the red herrings and all.
You need approval for that, too.
Yeah.
You know, not just-
but it is a town attorney question whether it's required or not.
Yeah, that's right. And if it's optional, then I think it's a Board of Selectmen decision.
Yeah.
Wasn't the library done at a town meeting? That was right after we moved here.
Yeah, that was,
It was.
it was $1 million.
Yes.
So it was,
Right.
Yeah.
$1
funded
million was
part
the
of it.
town's contribution.
Yeah. Okay. Other business, Nicole.
Yes, I have other business. Well, I have three things, but you tell me if you want to, one is the police and one is the resident state troopers. I have any numbers if you want to revisit that. tonight.
Sure.
Or we can wait till next week.
If,
Because I want to, I have to go over with you.
yeah.
In 2 weeks, right? Next week?
2 weeks, yeah, next week you know what, if you've got the numbers, yeah, let's do it, so.
Look back to the police and the 205. We had approved last week, 834,538. And at that time I had impacted as a 6 in place 3.
Yeah.
So I reduced him, which is about a little over 3,000, and so the new number for the police department for that change, which is just the salary, is 831,501.
Which one did you reduce, Nicole?
Stephen Hack.
salaries.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion for 831,501,
831,501.
revised for, police.
831501, is there a second for that?
Yeah, it's a reduction of 3,037.
Second.
Any discussion, questions, comments? Move to a vote, all those in favor?
Aye. That's one.
Oh, okay, so the 831501, I was gonna say revising, but that's okay.
You have that stuff on the troopers, because,
Wait, let's hold the vote.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Excellent. Motion carries. So Michelle, that's a revision to what we already passed, right?
I will. It's coming. Thank you.
Actually, the information that came from the troop on the resident state trooper for next year.
Wow.
And I think the wrong number
Yeah.
off the sheet.
Yeah, the 190.
No, we're down from 137 after last year, 161, that's very rare.
Well,
Yeah.
the number they gave you this year, the total cost is, with the benefit is 190,000, which is not extra. But I forgot that they're paying 85.
Okay, so
Which is only a percentage that we pay, and so the total trooper next year, they say is 162,000.
Okay.
okay.
And that's also a lot lower from the 170 last year, and we're only paying, 30%, it's changing the, like 30 grand based on the point. Yeah.
So, 62, yeah.
Do we have, the haircut's 30-something%? From the 190 to the 160?
From the 190 to the 160 is like 30,000.
But that's
It's mostly because for the fringe, you had to pay a lot more
yeah.
for it.
So what's the percentage we pay?
85%, I think it says on the sheet.
85?
Yeah, but now
It's 50/50?
it's 50/50. Yeah, for the benefits, yeah.
Oh, for the
No,
benefit.
but the whole thing.
If you look at the back page, it's 49.4%.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
It used to be like 80, and then it went down to 60.
it sure did.
Yeah.
And they didn't vote it on the letter in front.
Of course not.
Okay, so total now is 187 for that line item for the President State Trooper?
Yeah, 187.
Right. I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion, questions, et cetera? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Yep.
So I received an invoice from Bob Dunn,
Be nice.
for the sidewalk, the new sidewalk is down there, to access, handicap access from the parking lot to the road. And it wasn't the original, I was told it wasn't the original plan. It was never done, so we're out of money. The director and all that, and I think that's why. But this has a date on it from, the initial quote was December 21. So it's an old quote, but they ended up having the work done, and nobody bothered to figure out where we're gonna get the money from. So, there's a big brouhaha because there's some fundraising money for the boathouse, and the maintenance part, but to me, it's something clearly that town should have put in, and that I don't think it should come out of the donation.
Yeah.
And so, where do we take it from? We can take it from,
How much is it?
11,000.
Okay.
So we have a fund called Public Building Fund. It's not the building improvement fund that we have, that's just for the buildings, we'll work on that. This is money that is funded by, fees collected by town clerk. And it can be spent on certain things, and this is what it can be spent on. And one of the things on here, we don't usually use this money. It can be used for local capital improvement projects, and even sidewalks is one of the things that we use for. So I propose that we take it out of that special revenue fund. I think there's 39,000 in it. Otherwise, I don't have anywhere to pay it.
Yeah. So I'll entertain a motion. And what's the actual amount of the invoice?
11,000.
To use $11,000 from the Public Building Improvement Fund to pay the invoice for sidewalks at Haynes Park. Garvin, is there a second?
I'll second it, but a question, does the sidewalk get to the boathouse where it's supposed to go?
No. It goes from gravel to gravel. It's not ADA compliant at all.
I mean,
There's nothing ADA about it.
I mean, that shouldn't be, the contractor shouldn't have to eat that by any means, but if it doesn't accomplish what,
Yeah. It's a floating sidewalk.
I mean, I know that I'm asking,
But go back kind of a step further. What I heard Nicole say is that it was included in the original design plans and then abandoned because the project ran out of money. So if that's true, how did it get resurrected and then installed without Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance approval.
Well, you said it was a guess, though.
Just said go do
Let's
it.
go put a sidewalk in, and it doesn't meet ADA.
The chairman of Park and Rec, that it was part of the original project.
Okay, but
And the fundraising money is for things outside scope of the original project.
But
He said that.
But did Phil identify this as a project when he was here?
Something that was, quote, seen by Phil when he was here.
Yeah.
In conjunction with Bob Dunn. And, I know Tom said Bob Dunn has been in to visit him since he first came here about this. And Bob said he had funds to pay for it.
So let him
I
write
don't
a
know
check.
if Phil told them, I don't know, but they don't, and then Park and Rec put it in.
Well, what did,
Bob headed Magnet and doing the work.
And when did they put that in?
January 30th.
of this year?
yeah, they just did it.
How many, but you're not supposed to put concrete in when it's below 50.
They had a, special, thing that makes it go cure faster.
Yeah.
This
but
has
it's-
turned into
It can be done.
never-ending
Still.
well,
Was it that
done
urgent?
list on the boathouse, and every time something comes up, it's, well, it was over budget, but we did this anyway. When did this project stop? And what was the amount? How many times are we going to keep coming back? Not Unical, I'm just saying them.
Right.
This is Long Park, not Boathouse. Boathouse has a sidewalk that goes around the boathouse to the back door, which is ADA accessible so that people can.
But it,
So who approved it?
well, but if Bob did, and Bob should tell us where the money should come from in his
I
view.
think we should take it out of that fundraising thing, and the other party who raised the money saying no, and I agree with that, because I don't think it should come out of fundraising money.
Oh, I agree with that. I was just clarifying that's where he thought the money should come from.
Is it
Okay.
ADA required?
No, that
Boathouse got all of it.
Go anywhere.
like,
Well, the whole thing is not ADA compliant. I know.
it's ridiculous.
I wondered when they were putting it in, I'm like, what is it?
Oh, I get what you're saying, but
Tell Phil, why you tell Phil every time, and why I've had it with him, is because he does this all the time. And I get in the middle of it, because I hear it from you guys.
oh, I'm not on you, I'm on the project.
That's the problem.
Well, that boathouse has been a problem since the conception.
But it got,
It wasn't, the sidewalk doesn't have anything to do with boathouse. The sidewalk right now just goes in front of the basketball.
Oh, I understand what you're saying, but
now the boathouse project, which had a lot of different
They're
aspects.
trying to tie it to the boathouse project, but it's unclear if it was ever actually part of that project. Is
Yeah,
there
but
a
the
closeout
bathrooms
process
became
for a
300.
project? To like close a project out and say it's done?
Or does it time out after a number of years?
That project was.
Nobody asked.
I mean, that's what I'm wondering, if there's a process to tie up a project and say it's done.
So,
Was there ever
Right.
a plan presented to the town when they decided to build a boathouse, what the entire park was going to look like afterwards? We didn't know.
No, there,
let's not go there.
We have a
No, they-
rainbow coming.
yeah, there was a scope that was laid out, but there was no master plan for the project where we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that.
how could well, who approved the plan then?
The original scope?
Well, in the detail of the implementation of the work that was done in Haynes Park in connection with the boathouse, who approved the plans?
Well, we had a town meeting, if you remember,
Talk to the
we had the grant
administration.
for 450, and then it was
But
750.
that's the answer.
Yeah.
The town saw the design and whatever it was, and the town approved it.
I don't know that there was any design involved.
I think there was.
It came beyond the boathouse. I think it was all drawings of the boathouse.
Yeah,
And then-
but there was a scope,
Things
though.
like docks.
But I guess where I'm going with this is then who ultimately made the decisions? And if it was
The
the,
boathouse committee had, the grant and the other money, and they had to cut the second floor out, and that wasn't voted on, that was just so they were operating.
It was a bastardized project.
part of the same thing, it's really, in my view, a question of municipal decision-making. This is municipal property, it's old lawn property, and it sort of sounds to me like the boathouse committee or the park and rec committee or commission made the final decisions rather than coming back to the Board of Selectmen, for example, to approve it?
No, this is the first because we had the bathroom was outstanding, which was, again, just like limping to the finish line because there was always like cameras now we needed, and that wasn't part of the original idea, et cetera. But I think near term, what I'm hearing is that Bob made the decision to...
With Phil?
Maybe with Phil,
But Phil's been gone for 6 months.
And,
Right.
And,
Conduct dragged into it, but
yeah,
Bob told him he had money, so
right.
they scheduled it.
And
So
so
I guess we go back to Bob and say, where's the money?
Yeah, let's have
Well,
a
I
get.
had that argument.
that was my question, and he said, oh, it's in the funds that have been raised. That's not the case.
Not
The work has
appropriate
been done, the bill's gotta get paid.
It's just.
Somebody's gotta talk to,
People
yeah.
over and over and over. And I have no power to shut it down. The only people that can shut it down is the board of selectmen,
I mean-
and Tim directly.
Yeah,
So
so,
sign the contract with Macnick.
And it's frustrating.
did somebody sign did somebody sign the contract? Was there a contract?
It was, all I know is what this says, as quoted on December 21. So there was a quote.
Can we ask Bob for a contract?
It's not
Well,
gonna be one.
it's not our...
Not us.
Yeah,
It's the
our job is,
selectmen's job.
we just finished our job.
Yeah.
It's with the selectmen now.
Right.
And they need to raise... the-
Contractor came onto town property and constructed something that the town
So-
didn't know anything about.
The 3 selectmen should come to
The
us.
contractor's fault.
Yeah,
request.
we're not gonna solve it as the Board of Finance.
No.
It's the purview of the
But the
selectmen.
selectmen.
Should I withdraw my motion, or do you want to?
No, I will. We're thinking about it.
On the...
I did make a motion, I seconded
You said
it to pay the
there
bill.
was a quote in 2021. What was the quote as opposed to the actual? I know the
You know
actual
what?
was
We'll put
11.
it on the agenda for 2 weeks from now. Yeah, talk to them. Wait.
How's in Argentina?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, come on. Yeah, just withdraw.
It got seconded.
Then withdraw your
It
motion.
did.
For what, Martha?
Michelle's back in.
Oh, okay.
But that's.
Michelle, delete that last part.
Somebody's going to withdraw the.
Now to the other side of the park, they'll have, we're gonna put it was basketball court started off field zero, and they have to get some more weapons, approval and everything because it's close to the water. Now they're moving it closer to where the old playground was, and they'll have to probably go through handling weapons again. But then they'll put the new playground over there, so that if you're having lunch with your kids, the kids can go and play on the playground while you're there. And that will have another concrete slab going in, and the pavilion will go up.
And where's
So that's interesting. I was just gonna ask you, so now it's 17,000, we're approving 11, they don't even have the 11.
The pavilion is part of that restricted donation. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it's different.
Fundraising materials on the pavilion.
okay.
This concrete slab, that's what it's for, it's included in the pavilion, and it's gonna come out to the, approval of the committee that raised the money.
Okay.
I don't think there'll be an issue there, it's the 11,000. If it's part of the, if I was told it's part of the original project, so if I'm one of these.
The pavilion, yes, the paperwork that came out when we went to give money for the pavilion said that you are giving it because the project scope, including the pavilion with picnic tables, additional benches, and other items that will make our park even more beautiful.
So was this sidewalk originally supposed to go to the pavilion?
No, it goes from a parking lot.
That'll be a different
across
sidewalk.
to the third road where you come in towards the.
But that's not where they were trying to originally put it.
All of these park is
The pavilion additionally was supposed to be.
We're going to overbuild it now.
Maybe we should invite Mr. Dunn to come to
The
a selectmen meeting with overall, I'd love to see the overall plan of what the finished change part is.
Well, you can invite them, right?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to
No, but
withdraw.
you can.
I'd like to withdraw my motion to pay the $11,000.
Very good.
Yep.
Motion's been withdrawn. Okay?
We can discuss it at another meeting when we have maybe more information.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll put my IT committee hat on. If the Board of Selectmen can let the Park and Rec Commission not to order any IT-related stuff. I know he wants cameras out there. and has stated that he's not gonna bring the pavilion in, or the gazebo in until there are security cameras in place. But he was looking at trying to buy cameras through Comcast because they're much cheaper, but they don't exist. I know, but I'm afraid he'll go somewhere else on the internet and buy cameras, and we'll get a bill for those.
So we need to control spending, right?
Yeah.
Well, by
Purchasing by department chairs.
Yes.
Purchase
He
orders.
is.
Department, Parks and Rec, everybody.
Purchase orders.
I know, I agree.
I don't know, it's right.
I
There's not enough hours in the day for a purchase order.
Right.
And he asked me about those, but now Kim says those are no longer, that program is no longer available.
Not for, it's for residential only, it's not for, and again, with the idea of having all the cameras that we put in, whether it's this year, next year, or 5 years from now, are on the same platform. That we can't just have road cameras that some board. What's that?
Is there some wiring
You think?
that is being done by the IT committee right now to prepare for cameras along one Boston Post Road?
No.
Well, they'd probably be wireless.
No. The IT, we don't have any money to do that. There's no project that we're aware of. Comcast was talked to by Tom and discovered that it would be, they would install the internet needed for the cameras at next to no cost. The wiring you're probably seeing is Frontier's stringing
Right, they're doing their
fiber optic everywhere. And so maybe we don't need Comcast, maybe we wait till Frontier's over there and connect with them. It's gonna be faster.
supposedly by the 25th.
I don't think we need to run on those, but.
But to your frustration, somebody needs to have a conversation with him and tell him that we're not paying the 11,000, it hasn't been approved.
Tim, what's that?
Hey, we're all.
One more other business? Tim?
The senior center building committee needed to get an asbestos survey of the senior center before anything happens up there. And as we know, there is no budget per se to spend any money on this project. But they went ahead and ordered the asbestos test. So I think it's $1,000 or it's some amount of money. So we may have to discuss how they're going to have little needs of money.
No, the thing was built in 92 or whatever, right? There's no asbestos in that thing.
Shouldn't be.
Said that the two towns agreed to pay for it out of their own funds.
Well, yeah, but then they ran out and ordered it without making sure we had the money allocated. I mean, obviously, the towns would ultimately pay for stuff like that, but we all said, yeah, that's probably a good idea. But probably need to get, no, we'll get a little more on that, but more detail.
Okay. Any additional other business?
I mean, more of just a procedural question. At what point does the Board of Selectmen approve the budget?
They already have.
They already have?
Right.
Well,
It's their budget they give to us.
They're presenting it to us.
really approve a budget because you don't have a mill rate and all that stuff. So we did a very preliminary couple of days with Nicole, looking at it. You saw that big sheet with the fields below it. We're still getting information from spending agencies. So all these years, we've collaborated with the Board of Finance, with the specialists and all that. If one were to have the selectmen on January 17th give the Board of Finance a budget, we'd probably have to start in November or earlier to do that, to get the agencies to supply the information and rework everything. So I guess if this is not desired to do it like we're doing, we could, it can be a different way of doing it. But in the past, we've worked collaboratively and
Like the Board of Ed not approving the $57 million.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I
sending it to the
think one
voters.
of my, concerns that sort of came up last week is we have things that are sort of policy type issues that come up, for example, buying rifles for the police officers, that seems to be more of a policy type choice, that if that's something the Board of Selectmen desires, that it should come to us from the Board of
Well,
Selectmen.
capital shouldn't really be discussed till March.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is, at what point in this process does the Board of Selectmen put their stamp of approval on the budget?
Well, I think we need to wrestle with that issue, certain things.
It's not unusual, that's the way all towns are.
Yeah, just from my own understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
But procedurally, I guess I'm surprised, Tim, by your comments that, in essence, that the Board of Selectmen has not in prior years approved the proposed budget that is then submitted to the Board of Finance for, discussion and finalization. Because I thought it was. In other words, the same point that when we see the numbers on the pages, I thought we were looking at them with the recommendation and approval of Nicole and the Board of Selectmen.
But when we met in January, all we had was that sheet basically that we saw initially. We didn't have budget books and sheets by department and all that stuff, so it'd be very difficult to do the micro looking at each department.
And is that consistent with?
But historically, everyone gets their budget in by December 15th. At the end of December, early January, the salary committee would meet, the capital committee would meet, they'd make any recommendations then, and then I think the Board of Selectmen, and they would bless the preliminary budget.
Okay, right, preliminary.
So,
Do that anymore.
well,
So it's never been voted on.
Right.
The selectmen have never voted on a proposed budget and sent it to the
As
Board
long
of
as I've been
Finance.
around, it's been preliminary, and we work to fine tune
Yeah.
it. But it was
what
all
I'm- But what
preliminary.
I'm hearing from Nicole and Tim is that this year is different from prior years. That in prior years, the Board of Selectmen did have all of the detail that they could therefore review and bless. I don't care what noun, verb you use, and that didn't happen this year, right?
I'm not sure, and
It's
I
always been
have no
stragglers.
idea.
I mean,
It's always been
January, you're
an
not
incredibly
gonna have
iterative
everything.
process. It would be great in a vacuum to say, the selectmen have presented their budget, now let's look at it and give our input. That's impractical. It's not happened in the 16 years I've been on the Board of Finance.
20-plus years.
The whole thing, the Board of Selectmen have approved at meeting, those budget meetings, to send that, what we were reviewing, to the Board of Finance.
So the vote was to send numbers to the Board of Finance. It wasn't to approve specific.
I think once even voted to approve it to send.
And what year?
The whole budget, the bottom line?
No.
Oh,
Nicole, how
That's
long
not
have
their
you
rule.
been here? Before you were here?
I'm not lying, Tim.
I'm not-
Nobody, no,
No, we're having a
Politics, crap. Democrats against Republicans. So sick of it.
all right, motion to adjourn, anyone?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 9, whatever it is. And however, if
All in favor?
something needs to be discussed further, I suggest we put it on the next agenda.
I suppose, I mean,
Okay.
I don't really feel like talking about it, so.
Well,
All in favor, say aye.
let's start with the Board of Selectmen if they have an issue with it on time.
I will
they should do
decide
that.
whether it goes on the agenda.
Thank you. Thank you.
Weird,
Happy Valentine's.
I got it.
very strange.